The instructor wasn't looking at a student anymore, he was looking at a miracle he couldn't explain. He extended his hand not as a teacher, but as someone trying to protect something rare. Any difficulty, the school will handle it. Liu Chang didn't hesitate, he didn't ask for recognition, he didn't ask for status. He asked for what he truly needed, money and time. A scholarship to feed the freedom to disappear. The pair moved before he even finished speaking. 30,000 approved. But then the atmosphere shifted. The instructor paused, then reached into his pocket. What came out wasn't ordinary. A sleek, obsidian-edged card slid across the table. A martial art block card. 100,000 credit, given just like that. Pay me back when you're famous. Liu Chang took it, but the weight felt different. Heavy, not just money, expectation. It wasn't a student anymore, it was an investment. And the world wasn't ready for what that meant. Outside, the city looked calm, but inside his mind, war. He understood something Odo refused to accept. Being outraged wasn't failure, it was death. I won't accept it. His voice was low, steady, but beneath it, pressure. The growth he achieved meant nothing compared to what was coming. Something inside him was changing. As the sun sank, the sea began to feel smaller, like a cage. Every step he took felt sharper, stronger, further away from everyone else. He wasn't catching up anymore. He was separating. Then he returned. Not a dream, something else. Red eyes, watching. A low, distorted row, fearing through his mind. A sharp moved in the darkness. Twisted, violent, familiar, a remnant of the war. It longed fastly. But Liu Chang didn't react, didn't retreat. A cold azure glow ignited in his left eye, sharp, predatory, focused. He wasn't running anymore, this time he was hunting. The nightmare shifted. It wasn't a place for fear anymore, it was a battlefield, a training ground. Liu Chang moved through it with cold precision, no hesitation, no wasted motion. From the shadows, an undead figure longed. Its body was broken, but its movement weren't. Even in death, it remembered. A martial artist, his strikes were jagged but deadly. Instinct, his form and killing intent, all still there. But Liu Chang didn't flinch. The version of him was gone. He stepped in and ended it in one strike. Heavy, final. The impact echoed across the wasteland. The creature collapsed, a dark energy dissolving into the air. Liu Chang exhaled slowly. No strain, no effort. This level wasn't enough anymore. If he wanted to survive, he had to be absolute. He climbed a jagged ridge and looked ahead. Military base 1359. A graveyard of steel and concrete. Massive, broken, silent. The remains of a war humanity had lost. There are bloodstains on the wall. They are old and dried, but still screaming of what has happened here. A last stand. It was a failure. Liu Chang let out a quiet, humorless breath. At this point, nothing would surprise him anymore, not even giants walking through those gates. The air shifted. A low, distant owl rolled through the ruins. Something was calling him from deep inside. He moved down into the valley towards the center, towards the tallest structure still standing, a fractured command tower reaching into the dead sky. And then he saw it, a light, faint, flickering high above, inside the ruins. A figure still waiting, a man in white robes, untouched, unbothered, completely out of place. Liu Chang stopped. Every instinct screamed at once. In a world of monsters, this was wrong. This was dangerous. Become a silent man in a place like this was far worse than anything mindless. Who was he, and why was he waiting? The man in white wasn't human. The closer Liu Chang got, the more the world felt wrong, distorted. That thing sat motionless, eyes glowing with an icy unnatural light. Not just a monster, a relic, something left behind by the forgotten era. Then the air shattered. A violent shockwave exploded outward, invisible crushing. Liu Chang's chest tightened as if gravity itself had doubled. His body staggered back, breath caught short. This wasn't pressure, this was intent, pure, overwhelming. How could something dead feel this alive? But Liu Chang forced himself to steady, forced his thought into place. Not now. He looked away, refused to engage. There was more here than just that thing. He moved carefully through jagged terrain and blood-stained ruins that looked like a broken fangs. Every step carried risk, every shadow felt alive. Then he saw it, something out of place, a metallic disc buried beneath dust and decay. Too clean, too advanced. Wrong, he crouched, reached out. Fingers brushing the cold surface. Does it still work? He pressed it. Silence. For a second, nothing. Then, click. A sharp mechanical sound cut through the stillness. Blue light ignited. Soft at first, then growing. Human with something that felt ancient, powerful. A voice followed. Cold, digital. Ending standby mode. Starting program. Liu Cheng froze. Light surged upward. A pillar, bright enough to tear through the gloom. Particles gathered, forming shape, a figure, a woman. Golden air flowing like a light itself, eyes deep, endless, Asian. She stood there composed of data and memory, peaceful, almost unreal. Hello. Her voice was soft, but it carried the weight. You are using heavenly law technology. Liu Cheng didn't move, didn't speak. Was this a recording or something more? The base was just ruins, it was engraved, and this was something that survived it. It came here to grow stronger, but now it had stepped into something far bigger than nightmare, and then our expression changed. The calm vanished, replaced by urgency. Liu Cheng stood frozen before the man in white, his heart pounding. The silence of the base wasn't empty anymore. It was heavy, alive. Then the figure spoke. Liu Cheng's eyes widened. A chill ran down his spine. It wasn't just the voice, it was the language. It spoke exactly like him. Perfectly natural, wrong. Light erupted. The figure dissolved, not flesh. The illusion shattered, revealing the truth. A woman of light stood in his place, ethereal, composed of pure code, a Gen 16 artificial intelligence, a relic of the heavenly law technology, the guardian of military base 1359. Liu Cheng didn't move, couldn't. He was staring at the peak of cultivation that should have been gone for 10,000 years. But he didn't care about history, he needed an answer. Search for the most recent news. The eyes flickered. The low digital hum filled the air. She reached outward, connecting or trying to then. Unable to connect to Skynet, her voice was flat, cold, final. The network was gone. The world it served no longer existed. She shifted instantly, accessing local data. The room exploded into light. Files, hundreds, thousands. Hologram filled the air like a storm. Liu Cheng moved through them, eyes scanning rapidly. Data appeared. Martial Arts Era, year 11024. July, September, November, a timeline, a countdown. At first, power. Report of grade 10 martial artists, been strong enough to shatter mountains. Gods walking among men, and then everything changed. The report turned dark. Broken, urgent. Base 105 attacked. Base 114 fallen. Base 893 destroyed. The 8th troop dispatched. No survivors. Silence. Then the image, the truth. The sky gone black, massive forms moving through the fire and ruin, creature beyond comprehension, titans of bones and flames, so large they erased the horizon, eyes burning with endless hunger. The great martial era didn't fall, it was erased completely. Legends took still, the weight of his crushing aim. It wasn't just a nightmare, it wasn't random, it wasn't separate, it was the future. His future, even CE, every person, everything he knew reduced to these ruins, arch silence. His hands trembles under the holographic glow. He understood now. He was the only one who knew, and behind him the AI watched, waiting for command, any command. But Liu Cheng didn't move because the truth was already clear. The clock wasn't ticking. It had already run out. Humanity was 10,000 years too late. This is the end of this episode of of Liu Cheng Adventure. So if you kind of like the recap, please kindly subscribe, follow, share, and turn off your notification button for the next. And if you like these sort of stories and you kind of enjoy it, there's a link in the description so you can check it out. I'll be with you in the next episode. Thank you.